right, we are now recording. All right,
Beautiful.
all right, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who's Gabriella? I'm speaking to today.
Yeah, so my name is Gabriella. I am an artist, so I like to paint, I like to do poetry. I also am just kind of experimenting with different platforms. I have a history of like graduating in like alternative medicine, so like Chinese medicine, natural healing. So for a long time I thought that was going to be my profession. That's what I went to Spain for to study, was Chinese medicine. But as time started going on, I realized that instead of art being the hobby and my profession being Chinese medicine, I wanted it to be the other way around, my profession being art and my hobby being Chinese medicine. So yeah, now just in the process of building that up and like rebuilding my whole persona and my website and all those things. So that's what I'm in right now.
That's nice. And I was thinking about the way you switch both around. I mean, don't you want to do like just one big thing instead?
Yeah, it could be cool. I mean, ideally, my ultimate goal in life is to build an eco village, and in that eco village, have like be the medicine woman of the village, but also like just spend my time creating art. And the art is what like sustains me and what gives me that money. But the medicine is what like just like my gifts to the people around me. So ideally, in that eco village, I could just encompass everything in one, and just kind of like live how I want to live, but we got to get there first.
One day at a time.
Yeah, right. For sure.
So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, chapter one, creative identity origins. What first sparked your interest in art and creativity?
I've always been from a very creative family, on my mom's side, anyways. My grandpa is an amazing, amazing painter. My grandma wrote and published 2 books. My mom is a painter. And I never really considered myself to be the artist. I was much more into that science, math, medical brain, kind of like my dad's side. Um, and so I kind of just like always shunned myself from that realm. But when I was 17, I started like undergoing my spiritual journey. And from that, like I would meditate and see like visions and then paint those visions. And I think from there is when I really started to like open myself up to the idea that, yes, I am creative, I am an artist. And then every day is just becoming more and more solidified. I'm still on that journey of being able to fully see myself in that light. But yeah, I think it's just the influence that I've had throughout my whole life of just seeing art. My mom always loved things to be really nice and pretty and presentable, so like those kind of things, like aesthetically pleasing environments, I think have always guided me to want to create my own aesthetically pleasing environments with paintings.
Okay. And so mostly you got some of the inspiration after your mom was seeing like this is like a whole new world we are experiencing right now. Like sometimes art can be can be like like a portal to another dimension.
100%.
If I'm saying that correctly.
No, you're so right. You're so right.
So we just have to decide like what kind of art makes us feel like a something extraordinary can be made if we take the time to sit down and brainstorm and come up with new ideas, stuff that people's never seen before. If you've seen some of those like those artworks and illustrations that people are doing, you have like a lot of movies and storytellers who want
Yeah.
to do certain things.
Mhm.
Basically, like back in the good old days, it was more like the simple stuff. But as we get to like 2025, it's more, oh, I never seen that before.
Yeah.
They're not doing like the old stuff no more. This is something new. We want to see something new.
It's true. It's true. I totally agree. And it's funny because I think back then what was really valued was the art that is perfect and the art that makes you look at it and be like, "Oh, how is it even possible that someone could do this?" And while that art is so amazing and so respectable, like I could never do like realism in painting, like that's so hard for me. But I think something that people are craving now is just like authenticity, and being able to just like express what you want to express without feeling the need of it being good. Um, So I think and we're all artists, we're all creatives. We create this life. Like our life is our art. So I think the more that people embrace that and the more that people like accept it into their reality, people will be much more happy and free to just like live how they want to live.
It's great. That's
Yeah.
definitely. Um, so your username, Gabriella Constanza,
Constanza.
if I'm saying that right, it feels personal. Does it hold special meaning to you?
Yeah, so Gabriela Constanza is my first and my middle name. So it's really interesting that my mom gave me that name because for the longest time I didn't really know what it meant, Constanza specifically.
Mhm.
And Constanza means like constancy, so like consistency.
Oh,
Yeah, and I never knew that. I just figured that out, and it's actually always been my biggest downfall is my lack of consistency. So when I decided to like go towards my art and really embrace my art, I've realized like, you know what, like that name, Constanza, really does represent like what my life purpose like should live through is that consistency with my art. So that's why I kind of started embracing that more and going by my first and my middle name instead of just like my first and my last.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. See,
Yeah,
I just had to figure because when I saw your username, I was like, it's got to mean something, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it, like, why did she put that name? It's got to mean something inspirational. It's maybe if I ask her next time directly, and I'm asking you now.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know it meant consistency.
No,
So
it's
it
beautiful.
kind of makes it feel simple. I, I
Yeah.
I just go by Phil. So
Do you have a
I mean,
middle name? If
it's
you want to share.
Anthony. It's Anthony.
Phil
So,
Anthony, that's
but
beautiful.
it's my thing is the reason why I had it because my dad, my great granddad, his
Mhm.
middle name was Anthony.
Oh, nice.
So my full name is Philip Anthony Cooper Jr. So I'm Junior.
Oh, you're a
So
junior. Okay.
so
Have
my
you
dad.
ever considered going by Anthony? If you ever wanted to like change your look?
To be honest, not really.
Not really. Okay, that's okay.
So I guess it just wasn't for me. I don't feel like
Yeah,
changing my middle name or change my face. My main concern was, stop trying to be someone that you're not.
right.
Don't work so hard to be something that you're not.
Yeah.
And that wasn't for me. So I just figured, hey, I don't need no cool names. It's okay if I go by my regular name.
Yeah.
Still, I can still do. Hey, listen, even as my regular name, I can still do amazing things.
100%. And you have already done amazing things. I saw your YouTube intro and I really like it. Like I guess your company, your business, we could call it, the
Yeah,
name for that is really amazing too. So,
yeah, Philco Productions. I've
yeah.
been going to oh, by the way, I have been starting some new things. I've been doing anime hot takes.
Oh, nice.
I also met some voice actors too. I did. If you'll check out my YouTube page
Yeah.
later, I put down interactions with voice actors and two of them recognized who I was because I kept
Oh,
tagging them so
really?
much. I've been tagging them so much in my Instagram stories. One of them was called Emily. So Emily
Okay.
Neves, when I walked in the building in the convention,
Uh-huh.
she recognized who I was.
Oh, that's so fun.
Sometimes I'll be tagging. Sometimes when I tag them, I'll be like, they must not see me.
Yeah, but with enough consistency, as we were just talking about, they will see you. And just like that happened, she recognized you because you tag her. So that's awesome. That's really
Yeah,
awesome.
and I've been doing videos. Listen, going forward, when I go to big places, I always do my research. I also do videos on it too. She
Mhm.
liked all the videos I've been putting out. Most of the voice actors like the videos I was putting on, talking about, hey, this is what you can and cannot do at this place.
Mm.
Some of these guys won't wait for you to get yourself together before you talk to them. You gotta be
Mhm.
ready. So it's just that kind of that research. I'm gonna do the same thing for Anime Weekend Atlanta this Christmas because it's a
Oh, you're coming to Atlanta.
yes.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yes, well, I'm also trying to come that way for my birthday for
Okay.
Dragon Con.
Okay. Dragon Con is huge here and it's so cool. I only went 1 year
How was
and
it?
it was amazing. This was when I was in high school, so like 8, 9 years ago when I went to Dragon Con. But it was so amazing and I've always really loved like cosplay culture, like being able to show up as this character that you really want to like embody. I think
Yeah,
it's super cool. I've never done it personally, but I definitely would.
You should. My grandparents, when they would drive to Atlanta, they're not into the stuff. They like the old Western stuff.
Mhm.
They were saying like, why are these guys? Are they going to a Renaissance fair? I got well. Hey, you're in my world, so you got to go experience
Exactly.
it. Guess what? No matter how hard I tried, my grandma will not check out anime at all. She,
No.
she will not.
Oh
She
my
will not.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I just started watching, or not just started watching an anime, but I've watched very little animes in my life. But the one that I really love and that I watched and I became obsessed with, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called Ippo.
Really, I never heard of
Yeah,
that one.
no, yeah, Ippo, he's like a boxer, it's like an underdog story. This boy who gets bullied and then he like meets these boxers and he turns into an amazing boxer. And
Wow.
like honestly, like I remember feeling so inspired by this anime and it really like from the heart, it was my favorite show ever. Like I'll never forget it. So now I really want to watch Hunter x Hunter because I heard that it's also that same vibe of like when you watch it, you feel inspiration and the character development is amazing. So that's the next one on my list, even though I know it's very old.
Yeah, well, you saw in my story. I did watch the third movie last night.
Oh
So
yeah.
from My Hero Academia, as you can see, I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
this is
that's
from the fourth.
awesome.
This is from the fourth movie that I watched last year when it came out.
Mhm.
I've been posting all about that. Mauricio Ortiz Segura, who was the voice of Gulio in the fourth movie,
Okay.
he liked most of my videos and he
Oh,
saw what I was doing.
nice.
Like he kept sending me messages. I was trying to get him on for a podcast. He sent me a
Mhm.
nice little message on emails
Mhm.
saying that he saw podcasts out, but he'll be like available when he's back on. So
Mm.
yeah, I get you just keep tagging them and just get all those kind of like I'm not just doing it just to get y'all attention, just have clout. I want to have y'all conversations because sometimes people don't understand that behind the voices, they're still human beings.
Exactly. Exactly. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. I hope you get to have one of them soon.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, next week I'm going to be talking to one of them. One of them is Henry Dittman from Naruto.
Mhm. Okay.
He's going to be my first one next week.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah, I think what's the way this is going is probably going to be most of Naruto people because Naruto's classic and Naruto's
Mhm.
over.
Mhm.
But most people like Yuri Lichtenhall and Millie Flanagan, they might be a little difficult to get. It's
Mm,
those S class voice actors you have to talk to.
right. No, that's
So
amazing. Wow.
it's I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Okay.
So, all right, back to you now. How do you balance showing your authentic self on social media while keeping certain parts private? Because I know sometimes some people don't like to post everything. Like,
Right.
unless there's like a big event going on, then sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, what's your perspective?
Yeah, it's honestly super interesting because I've been how do I say experimenting with TikTok lately. And I know that TikTok, some like people can experience really rapid growth and being able to like find your own community within TikTok. But it's really hard. It's really hard for me personally. I don't want to speak for everybody. For me personally, to be filming my artistic process because when I'm in it, it's so difficult to go back, pause the camera, change the angle, press play, like press record, go back to start painting, like I want to just be in the experience. And then the other thing that I've had trouble with is like I know this is kind of like a dumb excuse, but like storage, so like
Oh,
I can't just like
yeah,
press play on my phone and then trust that it'll record the whole 2 hour process. So the storage is also something that kind of like hinders me from being able to like show these processes because then it forces me to be more involved in the like play and stop and angles and all those things. So honestly, like I've come to kind of like the compromise of being able to record the parts that I can record. Don't worry about angle changes or anything like that, and then just do voiceovers, kind of like explaining my artistic process during the moment, or like a piece or poem that I want to write after, like talking about the piece or something like that. So just kind of keeping the moment authentic and then sharing the aftermath of this is how I was feeling, this is how what the process was happening, not right there in the moment because then I'll be out of the zone.
man. Yeah, that's like that's like the fatal flaw in doing like content like that, like videos. Like every time when I try to do a video, it's saying I'm at the storage limit. Why am I at the storage limit? Like I deleted most of you guys. What else do you want me to delete?
Exactly.
So, because listen, I have a few games on my phone. I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of videos. Because lately, with me doing all these like analysis and reviews, I use CapCut a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like every time I do CapCut, it says, "Oh, no, inefficient storage." I can even post on Instagram with it saying like insufficient storage.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. And I feel like I'm a lot of the time I feel like alone in that. I'm like, how do people have so much storage, But I guess, as everybody's dealing with it in their own way. And I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. Still trying to figure it out.
At this, they really need to fix that situation because I'm using Apple. They need to fix unlimited. They need to give us unlimited storage because
You know?
I do a lot of videos and stuff, and I like saving because sometimes those are memories. I just
Exactly.
figured, hey, I want to keep doing stuff, but how am I supposed to do it if y'all gonna tell me, oh, insufficient storage, kind
Exactly.
of stuff? It's annoying.
Yeah.
Apple needs to fix that.
Apple needs to fix it. We need to write an email to corporate right now.
We might need to do that. We might have to. That's infuriating. But yeah, I understand. It can be a little difficult, and I know sometimes the camera error because some of the stuff I do, since I'm a one man person, I have to
Mhm,
make sure everything's aligned by myself. Make
mhm.
sure the camera catches me, and sometimes when I do like little short videos, I hold my phone up to my computer so it can be stabilizer.
Mhm.
But I might have to make some changes in the future, but we'll see how far I get.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So, all right, chapter two, artistic vision and Terragua. Gia,
It's okay. It's pronounced Teragua.
Terragua. Okay.
Teragua,
I'm
yeah.
learning so I can pronounce it better.
No, it's perfect. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay. Let's talk about Terragua.
Uh-huh.
How did the concept begin and what does it represent for you?
Yeah, so such an interesting question, especially because now I'm in a very interesting place with it. So originally, Teragua was supposed to be my like alternative medicine, holistic healing business name.
Okay.
So I was going to use that platform, and I haven't posted on there in forever, but I was going to use that platform to kind of just share holistic health tips, whether that's herbal remedies, whether that's acupuncture points, whether that's just like lifestyle philosophy kind of information. And I was going to use it for that. And then, everything happened in Spain. And so after, like our house got broken into and robbed, and we had to move back to the US, and I started focusing more on art, Teragua just kind of went on the back burner. But what Teragua and I bought the LLC and everything, so it's there. It's an official business. Is Teragua Holistic Concepts, and Teragua is the mixture of earth, terra or tierra in Spanish, and agua, water. So Teragua is the word I created because I think all of life comes from earth and water and everything in between. So at the end of the day, my goal with Teragua, because I'm not going to abandon it as much as it may seem like I have to, because I've shifted. At the end of the day, Teragua is going to be my eco village. It's going to be the community that I build of people that really believe in what it means to live naturally. And like my whole philosophy with my art, with my natural healing, and just with who I am in general is trying to remind people what it is to really be human and what that means and our power with that. So because I think we're so powerful. It's funny because I was thinking that this would come up in our podcast, about like I 100%, and people can call me crazy if they want to, I 100% believe that magic is real, and we humans are capable of supernatural things. First and foremost being like telekinesis is like our biggest, like anybody can tap into those types of powers. And I don't know if you've seen like these people online who do cultivate that energy and are
Oh
able
yeah.
to like, it's so freaking cool. And I'm like, that is living proof that we are energy and we are power, and like what it means to be human is so brilliant. And I just want people to tap back into that so everybody can curate like the most amazing and magical life that they want, because we have that power. So that's what I want to do with that.
Okay, and yeah, well, also again, sorry about what happened in Spain.
It's
They're
okay.
they're very, I done my research in that country. They're known for like pickpocketing, as well as France too. They're known for like stealing and
Yeah.
pickpocketing. But it's nice that you didn't give up on your brand, because I know when you first started, you knew that this is something that you really want to do. You
Yeah.
didn't let something like that stop you from doing what you like doing.
Hmm.
But and also the fact is, you said magic is real. Listen, when I was a kid in elementary school, we had Magic Mike. I remember his name,
Hmm.
Magic Mike. He'd come to
Uh-huh.
our elementary school, does magic tricks, and I was like, how did he do that? Sometimes, and listen, after I seen the show, I was like, maybe magic science we don't understand yet.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
oh, okay, well, magic is a science we just don't understand.
It's true.
So we just need I'm not to say it's like the Iron Man and Doctor Strange scenario,
Yeah,
but magic can also be helpful in everyday situations. People might
100%.
be dealing with illnesses. They might have like some kind of like catastrophe coming up. What, like, how can we make this better using magic? And I
Yeah.
know in your sense with the whole Terragua business you're
Hmm.
trying to put together, you might be able to help people with those similar kind of situations.
100%. I just want to like remind people the power of our minds, because our minds is what creates our reality, literally, not philosophically, not this abstract, no, quite literally, our minds create our realities. So if people have the knowledge and the power to tap into those energies, we can curate any reality that we want to exist. So yeah, I definitely want to remind people of that.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next question. So I've seen some of your photos, and you've been to a lot of places. I know you've been like you said you've been to like it's not Brazil, is it? Where's that other place?
Costa
There's
Rica.
like, yeah, Costa Rica. That's what it's called.
Mhm.
You were at a waterfall, right?
I was.
So yeah, so I just want to talk about that, because
Okay.
you've been to a lot of amazing places like that.
Yeah.
What role does nature play in your work and vision? Because you seem very, when you went to those places, you felt like something was coming inside your head.
Yeah. Yeah. I like nature and waterfalls and jungles and just being submerged in nature is for me one of the most inspiring and relaxing and aligning thing I can ever do for myself. So which is why I've always been drawn to these like tropical environments, because I feel like, and nature is beautiful in all environments, in snow and desert and forests and jungles and all environments, but specifically tropical environments I feel most drawn to because of its abundance. There's an
Yeah.
abundance of plants, an abundance of animals. That plants are huge because they have an abundance of sunlight and rain. So I feel like this type of scenery around me kind of like reminds me of what I'm a part of truly. And also a lot of my work and what I want to do has to do with like indigenous knowledge. So I'm from Venezuela. I was born there, but I moved to the United States when I was very young.
Okay.
And I'm from like the Caribbean coast of Venezuela, so very much beach and jungle. But with that, like I just want to tap back into indigenous knowledge, being able to grow our own foods, identify these plants and medicines that have been put on this earth for us. Um, and so yeah, it plays a huge it is the role, nature is what drives me and is what brings me back. Because I remember I said that at the end of the day, like in the end of my life, I want to create and have an eco village. And that's so I can live within nature and just be fully submersed in like just living life as a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never been to those. I never. Sorry.
That's okay.
I never even been to Venezuela. I do plan to go there because lately I've been bragging. I've been talking nonstop about going to Japan because I want
Oh,
to go there.
nice.
So,
Yeah.
but sometimes it doesn't hurt to go to other countries and experience those places first before I just be dead set on one country. Because I do have plans to go like to Paris, France, or Singapore. Mostly,
Right.
maybe Singapore. I want to see what's over there.
Yeah.
But some of those other places have like very special medicines we don't usually have here in the U.S.
It's true.
So it's nice that you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity. You still have it now to go to those places and get to experience all the stuff. And I know maybe people like like I showed you like Shagita
Uh-huh.
and Regina. I know they have the opportunities to go to those places and experience all kinds of medicines and
Hmm.
opportunities that are out there for them. And maybe like right now, I know with your current situation, I know you're going to work on more ways to try to go out and explore those different kind of worlds.
100%. 100%.
So it may take some time, but at least you're working towards it.
Exactly. Exactly. We can't lose hope.
No, can't lose hope. Can't lose hope. Next, Teragua feels both as aesthetic and deeply intentional. How do you want people to feel when they engage with it?
What a good question. What a good question. How do I want to feel? How do I want people to feel when they engage with it? I think I want people to feel almost like at home is the first thing that comes to my mind. I want people to feel at home. I want people to feel comfortable with what I'm presenting. And by comfortable, I mean, I want them to come into that space and feel like, wow, like something like this is really possible. Something like this space, like I'm not alone in what I want out of life, like I'm not crazy or illogical for wanting certain things out of my life, or for thinking that I can do these things when our parents, our peers, our just society in general might tell us that we're crazy for wanting these things. So I just kind of want people to feel like empowered, empowered truly of like their ability to create whatever it is that they want to create. I think that's what I want people to feel. That's a good question. I'm gonna write about that.
Hey, hey, listen, I make sure to come out do my research on you guys, and I do make sure that I come up with some very good questions. I was thing is like Thursday, like Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, like when I was doing the other person that you saw yesterday,
Mhm.
I was trying to make sure I had both questions because I knew that I was going to be up late watching the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
So I had to make sure that was done because Thursday I like it when it's Thursday and it's Friday I get to sleep in. But
yeah.
I just want to make sure I have those good questions. But I'm going off topic. But yes, you want to. It's nice that you want people to feel empowered because I know, some, is you want to make sure they have a very good experience when they interact with your brand and feel like I just feel like a very different person than I was before.
Yeah, yeah,
Mostly,
ideally.
and it's mostly like sometimes they just doubt themselves. It's like I don't know what happens if I do try this. I say go try it and see how it works for you. Like
Exactly.
don't think about the outcome. At least go try it. That way the people can be like, hey, I tried this person. She's very sweet. Here's the thing. Hospitality is key. You want to make
Mm,
sure you have good hospitality when you're doing these certain things. Like me,
mm.
I have good hospitality when I bring you guys on these shows.
You do.
So I want to make sure, y'all feel comfortable asking these questions because I told them like if you want me to make any adjustments, talk to me and I can do that.
Yeah,
That's what you want people to feel like when they experience your brand too. You want, ask, is there anything I can do to make it better for you? Let me know. So it's like, basically want to make sure you have a cultural conversation. Like, hey, this doesn't work. What can we do about this?
right. No, for sure, for sure. And I think that's a really good point because I think a lot of the time when people have their own brands and they're only focused on what they want out of it, it never pans out because the intention and the energy that goes into it is not coming from the right place. So I think that's even almost why I've kind of like distanced myself from Taragua
Mhm.
because what I was putting into it wasn't out of my authentic, this is what I want to give. It's more so, this is how I can make money. And so when I realized that the reason I'm not making money through it is because that's the mindset I was going into it with, I was like, you know what? No, like I need to just create my art because I want to share my art, stop with the Chinese medicine and whatever because I want to have my profession and all those things. So once I shifted away from that, I think I've gotten a lot more clarity of like how I want to present to the world and like what I want to offer, you know? And I think I always have to remind myself, what do I want to offer without thinking about the return? Because if I think about the return, then the return's not going to come, you know? So sharing authentically and giving authentically without expecting anything in return. And usually when we let go of those outcomes and those expectations, the return just comes, you know? So trying to like balance that. So that's a really good point that you make.
I do have one question. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
Okay.
Did you ever think about putting Chinese medicine into your artwork, like maybe doing some artwork on medicine? Because I think I've seen people do that before. Like they do artwork on
Really?
medicine as well, like maybe like drawing pictures or like, let's say, the art that you're doing could like collaborate with Tawaka at some point, and maybe it was showing like this is my art and showing the business I'm doing. Like someone like some kind of like, okay, let's say for example, like if you see where I'm going with this,
Mhm.
let's say for example, you want the medicine to be some form of symbolism,
Mm.
some form
Mhm.
of symbolism. Like you can show them that the medicine works. Like in the art, you could tell a story, like how this person is giving them medicine to make them feel better. Doesn't have to be
Mm.
very doesn't have to be very fancy. Just something simple. Because I was thinking maybe you could do that.
Mm. That's a really good tip. It's funny because I was going to ask you, how should I merge the two if you have any ideas? So
Mhm.
that's a really good idea, and I can definitely toy with that and see maybe how that would work. And I don't know how it would work yet, because you just brought it into my brain space. But I'll definitely think about it because I think that would be really beautiful to merge those two things, creating artwork based on certain Chinese medicine. And I will say, actually, one of the things that I'm doing right now is that I'm writing a children's book. And
Really?
it's almost done. I wrote, the book is done. I'm just working with the illustrator, and she's giving me pages every week to keep adding to it. And it should be done by September 20th. And it is literally teaching Chinese medicine philosophy to kids. So the first one is about yin and yang, and these two girls who are like very opposite. One represents yin, and the other one represents yang, and how they kind of like feel lost when they're by themselves, and then they meet, come together, very happy, like, oh my gosh, we're best friends. But then this orb comes, this energy ball, this orb comes and guides them to understanding, well, these are the attributes that you guys have to cultivate within yourself to be fully happy within yourself and not depend on each other to make each other happy. So that book is almost out, and it's going to be this like the first of a series of a bunch of books teaching Chinese medicine to kids. So I guess that's one of the ways that I'm merging my art and Chinese medicine, so
Okay.
that's really cool that you brought that up.
Well, listen, I make sure to listen. Well, it's a good thing I did. Listen, sometimes I want to make sure I listen to everything you guys say and maybe come with a good response. So when you were talking about like putting Tawaga back on the shelf for a while,
Mhm.
sometimes we have to put stuff back on the shelf and find something else to do. That's how I came up with this right here. I just wanted that made me come up and think maybe you can find a way to merge the two by doing the artwork. Like take like the Chinese medicine and tell a story on painting stuff. That's
Mm.
what I first thought, and pretty much and since you were about to ask me, I pretty much came up with a question instead in response to what you were getting ready
Yeah.
to ask me.
Yeah, you see how energy works, how the brains work.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
I was
awesome.
So I was already ahead because I figured I want to make sure that I just want to make sure I'm hearing you guys out and being part of the interaction because I want to make sure I take something and learn from it. But as far as that's concerned, it's not that you have a plan set for doing the artwork because you said you were doing the book. That's almost done. I'll be done by next month, which is also my birthday next month.
Yeah. Oh, what
So
day of next month?
September 8th.
8th. So you're a Virgo.
Yes.
I'm a Virgo too.
Yep. So
I'm
I'll be 25.
nice. I'm August 29th, and I'll be 25 as well.
Huh. Aren't we
Yeah.
both?
Right. Look at us, our frontal lobes developing.
But yeah, it's not that you're doing it. You might do more. You might go beyond just the trilogy of what besides just the series. You might do other stuff. ever thought of maybe, I don't know, now I'm just throwing this out there. Ever thought of
Okay.
doing like maybe mythical creatures like fairies, centaurs, mermaids? Any thought of doing that with medicine? If I'm just throwing that out
Yeah. No, I would love to. So something like with the books, which is why I started writing the books, and like with all of this, it's almost, and with the village and everything, it ties into this idea that like it's almost like I want to create my own history. So like I want to create my own like fairy tales and like stories that you tell to kids for lessons and things like that. Like I don't what's a good example and like that we know of, like, yeah, like the history of mermaids and of Santa Claus and like all these things, like I want to create my own version of these mythical stories and mythical creatures to like teach kids about like certain principles of nature and of like world and the energy. So
there.
yeah, like I would love to create like my own version of like, yeah, these mythical creatures. I don't know what the creature would be. I don't know if I'll base it off of a creature that already exists or create my own mythical creature. I have no idea. But yeah, like I want to kind of like write my own history to tell these kids that are going to grow up in the village.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, because I know in some other countries where they do like these television shows, these animations and everything. Because here's the thing: some of the stuff we watch in anime, do deal with a lot of like, like Holy Spirit, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Because like I okay, let's take okay. Here's an example. Let's talk about some fan service stuff like High School DxD. When I
Mm-hmm.
was watching the show, it wasn't just about them doing all the harem stuff, but they were mostly talking about gods and devils in
Mm-hmm.
that section. If you see, it's called High School DxD, go watch it. I
Okay.
know there's a lot of fan service going on, but there are some like holy stuff going on, like nuns, demons, devils, Lucifer. They're also talking about like Thor and Loki, that kind of stuff. Not the Marvel
Mm-hmm.
characters, but it's something like that because what Japan has done, they taken like the realm of God stuff. Because let's take Shonen Jump for example. They like telling stories. Like Shonen Jump has taken us magically into the realm of pirates, ninjas, martial artists, soul reapers, demon slayers, sports, superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So they've been doing like a lot of storytelling by taking us like all of these like action packed and sequences. And some of these shows they show like more themes. It's not just about one person. Because let me give you an example. I finished season 4 of Dragon Ball Z. And the
Okay.
first part, it was talking about the Garlic Jr. saga. It was like a 10-episode filler arc that followed the first Dragon Ball movie, which
Mm-hmm.
is Dead Zone, Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone. That movie took place before the events of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Basically, what I liked about this story was, Goku was always like the main character for saving the Earth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they basically wanted to tell a story. Well, what happens when Goku and Vegeta are away? So
Mm.
basically, it was up to Gohan. He was still a kid, Krillin and Piccolo to defend Earth while Goku was gone, and they
Mm.
and they beat and they beat Garlic Jr. without Goku's help.
Mm.
And the way that last dialogue, he was saying, even without our dad around, we still won, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
and guess what? And Piccolo was telling them, hey, against the likes of Garlic Jr., you wouldn't have been able to handle him by yourself.
Mm.
Basically, it's nice that they have those stories because they did the same thing with Dragon Ball Superhero because it was Gohan and Piccolo's movie.
Yeah.
It was like, let's take a break from Goku and Vegeta. Let's like they want to tell a story like what happens when Goku and Vegeta are away.
Yeah.
And Vegeta was in the Garlic Jr. saga, but he was
Uh-huh.
out in space trying to find Goku.
Yeah. So that's awesome too, because it really does kind of like remind us that, even in these animes and movies and in life in general, there could be people that are like the main characters, but life goes on without them, and everybody in of themselves is a main character in their own regard. So that's really cool that they did that to show like, you know what, let's take the two main characters out of here and let's focus on, what other people are doing to kind of like cope with their not cope with their loss, but like just what are they like when the main characters aren't around? They become their own story, and that's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think they should keep doing that for any other anime shows because they did the same thing for the 1994 movie, which was Bio Broly. I know Goten,
Okay.
that was Goten and Trunks' movie, but the thing is, Gohan, in Broly's second coming, Goku was dead. Actually, no, let me try to go in order. The ninth movie, after they defeated Cell and the Cell game was over, Goku is dead.
Hmm.
So here's what I also found interesting. Villains always seem to find the right moment, man, to attack while the heroes are divided.
Of course, of
So
course, like a
so
good villain does.
yeah, so in the ninth movie, Goku is dead, so Gohan is leading the charge with the rest of the Z-Fighters, which is Piccolo, Trunks, future Trunks,
Hmm.
Vegeta, Tien, and Yamcha and Krillin. So so this is like the first movie where they have to save Earth without Goku around.
Mm.
So Gohan managed to step up to the plate and took down BoJack.
Mm.
So that's why they was. That's why I was saying going back. They wanted to make sure that the others have time to shine. Show them we can handle this. Like we can take care of ourselves. Same thing what happened in Broly's second coming. Broly was defeated in the first one by Goku, but it was
Mhm.
mostly Gohan, Videl, Goten, and Trunks. They had to take on Broly, and he was
Yeah.
powerful. He's the legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta wasn't there. Piccolo wasn't there, so it was only the four of them.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
saying, and then we get to Bio Broly. I know I'm talking a lot of stuff, but
No, no, no. It's okay.
there is important context in what I'm saying. Goten and Trunks are fighting Bio Broly like a mutated version. It's only them, Krillin, and Android 18. No
Mm.
Goku, no Vegeta, no Gohan. It's only
Mm.
those four, and no fusion here. They had no fusion.
Yeah. Wow.
So they took them all on by themselves, and they still managed to defeat him.
Yeah.
That's what I like about sometimes we look at the shows, but there's actually more to the story. And
Of
same thing
course.
with your situation with trying to tell your story to these kids with medicine and the artwork. And I like how they're still doing that stuff today. Like give some people other to shine. Tell your stories and make sure you find a way to like send basically what you want to do is to make sure you send a strong message.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
if I'm relating this to what you've talked about so far.
No, definitely. 100%. 100%. And like giving people that space to shine, because there will be a day where, I'm the main character of my own story and whatever. And there'll be a day where I have to step back and be like, okay, now, whoever has been inspired by me or whoever has kind of like followed in my footsteps, like they now can take the stage and like, shine in their own way without me kind of like blinding the light or whatever. So I think that's really beautiful. And it's like a really good testimony to like the circle of life and what really happens when we like live in our purpose and then we inspire other people to live in their purpose. So then it's our job to step back and let them live in their full purpose,
It, exactly. And
Yeah.
like I said, keep doing what you're doing and keep telling those stories. It may
Thank
help
you.
somebody.
Thank you so
And
much.
keep listen. You seem good with the Chinese man say, put it on the shelf, but don't forget to go back to do it because I do like what you're doing. So just keep doing it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Phil.
So next question. I know I rambled a lot on that last
No,
one,
it's
but
okay. It's perfect.
but that's the purpose of these conversations.
Exactly.
So sustainability and mindfulness seem central to your project.
Hmm.
How do you incorporate those values into your art and daily life?
Sustainability and mindfulness. We'll start with mindfulness because that's a little bit easier to answer. Um, Being mindful is so much harder than what people make it out to be. And it is a habit. It's not like a constant state of mind. It's like a habit that one builds to be mindful, to be present in the moment. And I think that I tried to do a really good job with tapping in as much as possible, like when I remember to tune in to how I'm feeling, to what's happening, and to tune in to literally what's happening. Right now it's just me and you in this conversation. That's it. So I try not to like think about other things, about other plans that I may have the rest of the day, but the day before I got on this call, like things like that. So I try to tap into that mindfulness when I remember to. And again, that is a habit. It's not something that just comes like, oh, this person's mindful. No, like it's a habit that is constantly being worked on. So I really do try to bring that into my everyday life. And, obviously some days are harder than others, just like anything. Um, because the world is filled with so many distractions, and I also fall victim to being on my phone and doom scrolling and all those things, and so I am victim of those things as well, but I do try my very best to like bring mindfulness to my space as much as possible. So that's mindfulness. Sustainability, man. Sustainability. So in my life, like I want to be able to do that creative, or like that eco village. And that eco village will be a self-sustainable eco village built off of like permaculture ideals, right? So growing our own food, cleaning our own water, disposing of our own things, like a fully self-sustainable village. Um, how do I bring that to my everyday life? That is a good question. The beginning of me, like the first thing I think of is it's very difficult for me to put that in my everyday life. I try to kind of like embody those principles with myself, so like I don't eat meat, like I try to be like the most natural as possible with like my products and the things I use. Like I don't use a lot of products in general, like makeup and I don't know what other products there are, like like I'm not that
Yeah.
like exposed into that realm, so like I think that's kind of like a way of me being sustainable, because I just have like who I am, and I don't really like add a lot to my being. But yeah, I think I can do better with sustainability. I can do better with my use of energy, for example. I can do better with my use of water, of just like different ways that I can like just make sure that my personal life has the least amount of like negative impact on the environment as I can. I can definitely do better in those things, because I do want to have a whole village that supports sustainability. So I do think that like once I came back to the US, it's been a little bit hard to get used to like the lifestyle here. For example, like cars, like over there it's public transportation, trains, and like seeing other people constantly, like not interacting with these people, but like visually seeing people and what their interactions are. And like I love to people watch, so like here it's a bit different because everybody's in their own private pod, I like to
Yeah.
call it, so like I think the lifestyle in the US kind of makes it a little bit difficult to be sustainable in ways that are really beneficial, but every day I'm trying to like curate a life where that is possible. But it's hard because eventually I want to leave, and when I say eventually, I would say like within the next 5 years. So it's kind of like difficult to have that fact of knowing that I want to leave the country and I want to build my life outside of the country, while at the same time being here and being like, wait, but maybe I shouldn't get too comfortable, or should I get comfortable? Because in order to like be here and like be comfortable, that's how I can like do other things, so like it's kind of like a battle that I've been going back and forth with lately, with that. So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's like there's too many distractions going on. I can't concentrate on what I got to do. But I think the main part is to make sure you just don't burn yourself out while
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out what your next steps are. Because I know I've seen too many people fall for that trap. They want to just do everything and just get on out of here, but they're
Yeah.
not taking it like step by step as they should. Learned that the hard way when I was in college. I was just rushing, but I didn't like enjoy it until I
Mm,
finally got to like the last 2 years, and I was like, I started to enjoy life being out on
mm,
college. Now it's like I get back home and I gotta figure out what else do I need to do, because I was rushing
yeah.
to get out of college and be like, I didn't think this all the way through. But now, like for the last 2 years, I've taken the time to like go to different places. I went back to school trying to finish up. I start my last semester next week
Yay.
doing cybersecurity. So I
Oh,
am trying to find some jobs, most likely in like California, New York, or Atlanta.
okay.
Because I do want to work with some of those media companies that are into all this stuff I'm doing.
Yeah,
Because there's also Japan, because Japan has a lot of technology that's like decades ahead of what we have here.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I want to have the opportunity to work with some of the toys they have across overseas, and like give out a full report, like, hey, this is how this thing works. It's most like more advanced than what we have here. Like, give y'all a
Yeah.
review. So, because
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't want to just work. I want to go beyond just here. But the one main fact I need to work on is saving money. So I need to save money.
Everybody's downfall, man.
I know, I know, and I got to pay another thing because I got a Nintendo Switch too. So
Okay, nice.
I had it for a while, so it's pretty good. So I got to pay back a bonus. But the way this is going with me working all these hours at work, I'm probably gonna have a lot of money by the end of this year. Just
Yeah,
gotta make sure I know
perfect.
to spend
Don't
it.
spend it. Yeah. Oh
Because I'm really
man.
not. The thing is, I'm really not. I'm really going to like two more conventions, and then that's it. Like
Okay.
this one, Dragon Con. Well, I have to talk to my folks about that more. And then I'm saving my stuff for like I'm skipping Wasabi Con in Jacksonville because I was like, nah, let's
Mm,
save it for Anime Week in Atlanta, the big one.
exactly. There you
Because
go.
Atlanta's the one that has the bigger convention.
Yeah, there's such a big community for that here in Atlanta.
It,
There
exactly.
is.
So
There is.
I would rather go to Atlanta two more times than having to go to Atlanta and Jacksonville.
Exactly.
So I would rather do that instead.
I
But
totally
yeah,
understand.
the main thing is just make sure you just save, take one day at a time. It's okay to take a break if you're tired.
Hmm.
So you don't have to do everything at once. Because I know with your brand, you're trying to do as much as you can and go beyond just here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a balance. It's a balance every day we're looking for, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
um, what's been the most challenging part of building a brand or identity around your creative work?
Oof. I think the most challenging part is the fact that I'm always changing. So it's like hard to say, and I've experienced this, it's hard to say, like, hey, I do this and I do that, and do this and that. And then a couple months down the line, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. So like just being constantly like a constantly evolving human being, and then building a brand where you kind of want to like you want people to know like this is what your brand is, I think is the hardest part. Like I'm constantly changing, and then my brand is like supposed to stay the same. I don't know. So I think that's the hardest part with it, of like I don't know if I need to choose or if I build the brand off of being so multidimensional. So I think that's the hardest part, is like that the consistency of like, who am I? How do I want to present myself to people? Am I allowed to change the way I've previously presented myself to people? So like that kind of like internal battle.
Wow. So it's basically like a physical and mental situation.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know it's not easy, but at least hey, this is what I've worked. This is what I've done to work towards this amazing moment I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, every day we're working on it.
next one, and I think, and then you probably already have the answer for me because you probably done it with somebody.
Okay.
If you could collaborate with another creator or brand to expand Terwagua, who would it be and why?
I've actually never done it with anybody. So this is a good question because I've also never even thought about it. Um, there's only one artist coming to mind. There's this artist, and her name is, I think is Poshner Art. And I think that's her name. I might be getting it wrong. But she is this brilliant artist from, has to be like a Nordic country somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe Norway, maybe Sweden, maybe Denmark, one of those countries up there. And she's just honestly brilliant, and I love the way that she paints. I love the way that she films her videos. And if I could just have a session with her where we just like create together and make a video together, I think I would be very happy. I think I would be very, very happy.
Okay. Well, hey, you did tell me consistency is key. Maybe you might be able to connect with her.
Maybe I have never tried. So maybe after this call, I'll write her or something.
Ooh, okay. All right. Sorry. Okay, we're out of that session. We got three more sections left. Are you still game?
I'm still game. The only thing is that, oh, actually, I have a computer charger right here. Never mind. I'm good.
I
I'm
was
game.
making sure because I didn't expect to come up with this many questions because I was like I had to make sure I had some good ones here because
No, yes.
we have three more sections left: style, inspiration, and process,
Okay.
life, and slice of life content, and the last one is reflections and advice.
Okay. I'm
So,
ready.
so I don't know if you want. So I just want to make sure you still have the mentality to still handle it.
I do. I do. Let's do it.
All right, so style, inspiration, and process. Where do you usually draw inspiration from? Books, travel, music, fashion, or everyday life?
Honestly, like everyday life experiences is where I draw the most of my inspiration from. Um, I just feel perfect. I just feel a mood. I feel something, and I say, okay, I want to go create that, or like I'm kind of like learning to go into my creations without expectation of how it's going to turn out. Um, and I think that's just kind of like an everyday life practice. So I go into my pieces of just being like, you know what, I just want to paint. And then I'm doing my best right now to just like look at the canvas and be like, let whatever needs to come out come out. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. All it matters is that I'm having fun doing it. So I think that's just like a life inspiration. Life situations is what inspires me and prompts me to start creating something.
Okay, so pretty much all the books, travel, music, fashion. So
Yeah, all of it.
so it's already in there. So pretty much the way you talk about, yeah, it does incorporate with your everyday life situations. So
Exactly.
it works. It
Yeah,
does
no,
work.
it's amazing.
So, um, walk us through your creative process. Do ideas come in bursts, or do you carefully plan, like you brainstorm,
Mm.
just like I do? I do my research
Oh yeah.
out. So
For
tell
me, ideas come in bursts. They come in bursts. I see something or I hear something and I'm like, oh, like I want to create something like that. Or like I see somebody else create something and I'm like, oh, I can do that, and I kind of get inspiration from that. And also, I'm trying to learn more. So, like, learn more skills. So, I just finished taking an 8-week figures drawing course with like live nude models. And that was a whole experience. In the beginning, I was really struggling and I was like, oh my God, like I'm so bad at this. Like, I would get so frustrated and so like just humbled, honestly, like humbled of being like, you're not good at this, But as time went on, I started to get better. And this piece that I did, our last class that just happened last Tuesday, it was so good. And I was like, wow, like this is amazing. So I think I'm now like in that phase of just wanting to learn more, just wanting to learn more skills, wanting to learn more about my art, because I've never really taken an official art course. This was my first one.
uh,
So being able to like incorporate these new courses and these new things that I'm learning into my art, I think that's one of my best ways to draw more inspiration and more skill.
oh, that's really nice. I wanted to ask if you don't mind me asking,
Mhm.
have you ever considered? Because when I saw you at when I saw the pictures of you at those forests and everything, I was thinking, is she planning to do like a new photo shoot at some time? I mean, I could never see her really doing that because I was like, she's very a nice person.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I definitely have done like some like boudoir photo shoots.
Okay,
But it's not really like my
style.
I don't really have an interest in that. And I feel like I'm very much protective over like my vessel. So like I don't want to give people the pleasure of seeing me like that.
Uh, no, because I was like, don't do anything you're not comfortable with.
Exactly.
I was thinking about doing it. I guess like doing like photography stuff. I was like, it's just not for me. I just really couldn't bring myself to do it because it would make me uncomfortable, and I don't know how people would react if they saw like a picture of a woman who's like fully
Yeah,
exposed, and I was
yeah,
like, I'd probably just. I just couldn't do it, so
exactly.
that's why I went back to going back to videos and stuff, like doing like video game walkthroughs and doing this podcast.
Yeah, no,
I,
that's good.
I
It's
just really couldn't bring myself to do it.
I totally feel you. It's the same for me, and it's good to for us to like even toy with those ideas, just so we, we're open to the possibility of anything, but then to come back to our true self and be like, actually, I'm good. I don't want that.
Yeah, like if I do this, what's the outcome?
Exactly. How's it gonna make me feel? How's it gonna make other people feel? So that's cool that we were able to bypass that.
Yeah, just stick to what you like.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
No, it's
Um,
okay.
your photography style feels very intentional. Do you see yourself as a storyteller as much as an artist?
I
Probably, you probably,
do.
yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do. What a good question that you could notice that beforehand, too. I do. I think stories are so beautiful. And I don't know if you've ever read the book Homo Sapiens.
No.
So it's basically a book of just what makes humans, Homo sapiens, different from every other animal in the animal kingdom. And one of the first differences that they've noticed with humans is our ability to tell stories and make up stories and use our imagination. So I think that when I learned that, I really kind of like tapped into that idea of we are storytellers, and stories are so important because there's stories that we tell ourselves that aren't true. There's stories that we tell other people that aren't true, that can harm, but there's also really amazing stories that we can tell ourselves and others and whatever, that can bring a lot of like light and beauty to this world, whether that's through photography, through dance, through painting, through any type of art, through podcasts. So yes, I definitely consider myself a storyteller above all, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, everybody has their own way of telling stories. You got like a lot of people who do like tattoo artists. I interviewed a couple of tattoo artists.
Oh, nice.
So I met them at Anime Inc. here in Savannah. They done like a lot of tattoo like expos and stuff. They actually having another one in this fall in Savannah, and they're
Nice.
bringing Anime Inc. back next year in 2026, May 29th to the 31st. So there's that. I say I might go there for that, see more of the tattoo artist
That's
shows because
awesome.
they get the tattoo artists even though they're drawing people. But
Mhm.
if you unless you saw in one of my other previous videos like with Tattoo King, where she said yes to a certain extent, yes we are drawing on people, but there's more to it than
Mhm.
usual. Even tattoo artists, it's sometimes doing the tattoos are storytelling too.
For
Like they're
sure.
telling stories. Artists, illustrators. You also have a lot of SCAD students who do that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Because I have talked to a few SCAD students in the area. I know you have SCAD in Atlanta too,
Yeah.
but in Savannah, I've talked to some of them, and they said some of the stuff that they do, like illustrations, cosplay stuff, K-pop clubs. They have like their own way of doing things.
No, that's amazing. I love that.
So, and I was like, if you're happy with everything that you're doing, I say keep doing it.
Yes, totally. Totally.
So, um, how do you balance your personal creative projects with the work you share publicly?
That's a good question. Um, it's funny because yeah, I do create a lot of things personally that I don't share. Honestly, the way I differentiate what to share and what not to share is what I end up recording or not. So if I record it, I'll share it. But if I don't record it and I don't feel like taking out my camera and doing all of that, I won't record it. Therefore, I won't share it. So I think that balance and knowing that I don't really like to record a lot of things does give me like privacy to create without the expectation of sharing it with other people.
Okay. Yeah, and it's funny that you say all that because I know some people are just like, is this like my is this like a turning point for me? Like if it's like I just want to know, like, I don't want to share everything about, like, sometimes, you have to differentiate, like, okay, what are the pros and cons of me sharing my personal creative projects and the work that I'm sharing publicly for everybody to see? This is like a
Exactly.
teaser. Like, sometimes in those movies, we don't want to show everything that's going to spoil somebody. I want to keep
Exactly.
something like locked up in a safe somewhere so people can, like, check it out when the time is right.
Exactly. Totally. I
So,
agree.
sometimes I feel like that when I do like teasers or something. I do teasers on Instagram when I be like, "Hey, something big is coming up." I'll tell you all
Hmm.
the details at a later time.
And that gets people excited.
So, and guess what? Probably tonight when I'm finished, I'm probably going to announce my interviews for next week. So,
Yay,
but I'm
yeah.
gonna but I'm gonna be like, I won't tell you who it is. You have to find out who later. That's the way I got to keep it. Listen, if I tell them who it is, it's going to spoil everything.
Exactly. You got to keep people on their toes.
And I don't want to. I don't want to write checks my mouth can't cash. I
Hmm.
want to do the actual thing first before I just start putting stuff out there.
Yes. In Spanish, there's a saying that says, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." It's
Exactly.
perfect.
So, all right. So, oh, getting close to the end. Next part: life and slice of life content. Slice of
Okay.
life time. Let's do it. If you don't just share art, you share slices of your life.
Mhm.
Why is that important to you?
Mm. I think because being able to share like my life and who I am as a person means more than just like what I have to produce and what I create and put out in the world. Um, so I think that authenticity of just being able to share who I am and what I do every day means more and can relate to more people than just sharing with them what I create. I think something that I've heard is that when people buy like a really expensive piece of art, they're not they're not paying for the piece itself. They're paying for the story behind it and the person who did the art, who created it. So I think that's what I'm trying to build and to show that like I'm worth the investment, me as a person, not my pieces and specifically.
Yeah. And I like that you said that because I think people need to understand that, it's not just about that. Life is about the journey, not the
Mm-hmm.
finish line. I've seen a few, if I can relate this, I've seen a few Pixar films relating to that type of scenario. Let's take Soul, for example. Can we,
Mm-hmm.
can we try, can we try Soul? Let's try
Yeah.
Soul. So if you remember right, Joe Gardner, he was a high school, he was a, middle school band teacher. He wanted to do like the big game that he was dying to do, but when he
Mm-hmm.
finally got to it, it wasn't as fulfilling as he thought it was.
Right.
And then when I saw that scene with Dorothea Williams, something that Dorothea said caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "I heard this story about a fish. He swims up to this older fish and says, 'I'm trying to find this thing they call the ocean.' And
Mm-hmm.
the ocean and the older fish, that's what you're in right now." Oh, the young fish says, "Is this is just water. What I want is the ocean."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the way she said that, now I understood why she's saying it. Like everything you've done up to that point before you got to where you wanted to do, you were already where you needed to be from the beginning.
Exactly. It's already happening. It's already happening. It's in the works as we speak.
It,
As we live, it's in the works.
so we were already in the ocean. We just need to recognize the water.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful.
And that's what most people don't like understand these days. Like they have to understand, like and make sure to take the time to enjoy the small parts in life. Same thing with your artwork. When people purchase your artwork, they want to learn about you. They want to
Exactly.
know about your story. They want to know how you got to where you are right now today.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so important. I think it's so important and so crucial to remember that. And I think it's one of the hardest things to remember. We are already in the ocean. It's already happening for us.
So, and We just got to make sure, hey, this is why we're doing this. We can be able to teach someone who's trying to figure out where they need to go.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
what's one thing people would be surprised to learn about you outside of your art?
Um, Surprised to learn about me. Surprised. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know, man. That's a good question. Can I think about it?
Take
Yeah, you can ask me another question and I'll be thinking about this one on the back end.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any daily rituals or habits that keep you grounded? Meditating, like pouring like salt on the ground. I don't know, something like that. I can't see people do
Anything.
that before.
Yeah. I actually want to have a better relationship with rituals. I don't have any rituals that I do every day that keep me grounded. I write a lot, like journal. So it's definitely not an everyday thing, but ideally it would be. But yeah, I'm trying to strengthen my relationship with rituals and doing these things like as non-negotiables every single day to be able to like ground myself and cultivate the life I want to live. So I'm coming up with a better relationship with that. But if anything, it would be writing for sure, journaling.
Okay, and so it's a work in progress with the ritual stuff. But you are writing your stuff. You're writing your feelings out in journals,
Hmm.
diaries. At least you're doing something that keeps you mindset free.
Exactly.
So um travel seems to be a big part of your world. Depends, as judging by the conversation we had so far. What place has inspired you the most?
Place.
Mhm.
Honestly, Costa Rica. Costa Rica. I've been leaning away from Costa Rica recently because it's becoming a really big, popular, gentrified country now. All the expats from the United States, from Canada, from France are moving to Costa Rica. So I've been kind of like distancing myself from it because it is becoming like a new Hawaii, like
Oh
all
yeah.
the white people are coming in and just kind of like taking the country for themselves. So I've been like distancing myself a little bit from Costa Rica, but it has inspired me the most because of its abundance, like we were talking about earlier, its natural life and like what exists there, like the nature that exists there. It's been the most inspirational thing ever because then I realized like this is how I want to live and I'm going to do everything in my power in my life so I can live in a place like this, you know?
I got you.
Yeah.
You ever thought of? I know you say you got plans to go back out of the country, but at least I know that you like well, Costa Rica is one of the places you would like to go and be there for a few years. So
Yeah, it actually not anymore. Not anymore because it's so popular now.
mhm,
Now I want to go. I mean, I don't know. I'm exploring now. Like I have to figure it out. Like for my
right.
birthday, I'm gonna go to Guatemala, so this trip is coming up in a couple of days. Um, so we'll see. We'll see where I end up and what environment I end up in.
Can't wait to see where your journey takes you.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm excited. Um. All right. On to the next one. Um. So last part: reflections and advice.
Okay.
So, what does success look like for you personally, not just professionally?
Success personally for me looks like every day I just wake up and am doing, I'm just living, I don't feel like I have to do anything for money. I don't have to, do anything. I can just do whatever I want. I can create, I can live, I can travel, I can literally just do anything I want. And I think that's what success for me looks like is the liberty to just like live as a human being without all of these external necessities or pressures. And then, yeah, and that's personally. Professionally is a different answer, but
Okay.
personally, I just want to, yeah, just be able to live. No pressure to do anything that I don't want to do. I just want to live.
That's all you want to do. Just live.
Yeah, just live,
Just
man.
every day we're just trying to live our best lives.
Exactly.
That's all. Um, how do you navigate self-doubt or creative blocks?
Mm. Self doubt and creative blocks. I try to remind myself that self doubt is. Can I curse? Self
Go
doubt.
ahead.
Self doubt is a bitch, man. Like, like self doubt is killer. I honestly just try to remind myself of like who I am, like at my core, like at my heart's level. And with that reminder of like knowing that I am a good person, I am a beautiful person from the inside, I think that calms the self doubt and says, okay, you're amazing nonetheless. Even if you didn't have your hands and you didn't have your feet and you couldn't create anything ever again, you're still amazing nonetheless. So I think knowing that and like really feeling that gets me over the hump of self doubt.
Yeah, you just gotta keep yourself going. I know you're gonna have like dark days ahead of you, but it's how
Mm-hmm.
you navigate that matters. I'm gonna use another anime reference here.
Okay.
This is you might like this. If you've seen season 7, episode 21 of My Hero Academia,
Okay.
All Might gave up his power like four seasons ago. Well, no,
Mm-hmm.
at the first season. So he retired season 3. So he figured, he said, "I'm still here." So the fact that he went out and tried to fight All for One as he head towards Earth's Midoriya and Shigaraki,
Mm-hmm.
he got his own armored suit.
Mm.
So he figured, hey, even without powers, I can still do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
that's why he came up with Armored All Might.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, when I saw that scene, and when I saw the scene before he decided to suit up, I was like, man, you ain't got no superpowers. You don't need to be out on these streets.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I was like, wait, where did that come on? He went full Tony Stark Iron Man. So I was like, oh shoot, okay. But here's the thing: even the detective was like, it doesn't matter how many gadgets you have, a human body can't stand up to this kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
But he still fought anyway.
But he still fought anyway. Yeah. A
So,
good reminder.
listen, even if we don't have powers, but we're not powerless, we can still try to get through those tough situations and know exactly what we need to do.
100%.
So, shoot, man, now I want to build my own suit of armor.
There you go. There you go.
If I can, I have to build my specifications. So, um, okay, here it comes. Social media can be a double-edged sword. What has it taught you about yourself?
Social media has taught me that I am a very private person, that I actually hate sharing things like of my personal life because I don't want to be judged and I don't want to really be perceived at all. So I kind of have like this fear of being seen. And so with that, like it's this fear that I obviously have to overcome because in order to be successful in my work, I have to take up space and be shameless with that. So every day I'm just kind of like working through those things and understanding that I do have something to offer and I can't care if people are gonna make fun or perceive me, whatever. If even if they're not making fun, even if they're motivating me and be like, oh my God, you're so great, even that off puts me. So I think I just need to learn and I'm learning how to take up space and do it in a way that's shameless, that doesn't really care about what other people think.
Yeah, Exactly. Keep it going. Don't let it drain you. Sometimes you don't have to put everything out there on the internet. Just
Exactly.
keep it private. I don't want people to know all my secrets.
Exactly.
All the good stuff stays up here.
Exactly. Yep. You can't give people too much power.
Exactly. Um. So, looking ahead, where do you see yourself and your projects in the next 5 years?
5 years. 5 years. I will be 30 years old.
Yeah.
Um, in 5 years. So in 5 years, I hope to be a successful artist who sells her paintings, who has commission pieces, who speaks, travels and speaks and reads her children's book to people. And, like I just want to have my name out there as a creator, author, painter, all those things. And yeah, living in my home, living in my space and my forever home, that's where I see myself in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this 5 year journey myself.
Thank you.
See where it takes both of us.
Right.
And last question. For others wanting to start something similar, whether an art page or mindful brand like Chihuahua, what advice would you give?
I would say to be fearless, to do the thing that I'm working on now, to just share with all your authenticity and all your bravery and all your courage, and just share for the sake of sharing what you believe and what you feel in your heart. And just sharing it for the sake of sharing it without any ulterior motive. Do what you want to do because you want to do it without any other ulterior motive like money or fame or all these things that at the end of the day don't matter. Just share it authentically, fully yourself.
Exactly. Money
Mhm.
can't make doesn't bring happiness. One
Exactly.
thing, if you're familiar with the singer Lizzo, are you familiar with Lizzo?
I am familiar with Lizzo.
Her exactly words were, "Don't try to be famous. You'll never leave.
Mm.
If you want to do art, keep doing art without fame."
Hmm. That's a good one. That's
So
one for
yeah,
the books.
exactly. So just keep that in mind.
That's amazing.
So
Thank you.
anyway, you heard it from here. This is Gabriella. Go check out some of her work. Hopefully, you'll be able to see some of the new projects she's coming up with. It. I know everybody's gonna be excited to see that. But yes,
Thank
go
you.
check her out. She'll be on Instagram. I'll make sure to drop it on in link in the at the end of this podcast.
Beautiful. Thank you
All right.
guys for listening. I'm really appreciative to be here, and this was amazing. Thank you for being such an amazing host.
Thank you.
Of course.